A great man, best friend, loving husband, and wonderful father was lost to us on the fateful day of February 18th, 2006. The details of his death are not important. However, the details of his life, more importantly, how he lived it, those are important. This is the story of Calvin Carrington. Calvin Carrington was born in Worcester, Massachusetts on June 9, 1956. He was born to Charles Joseph Carrington, born in 1926, and Gloria Myrtle Tower, born in 1937. His mother was born in Holton, Maine, while his father was born in Worcester, Massachusetts. His mother was a homemaker and remodeler, while his father worked his construction company and was a hog farmer. Calvin had one older brother, Charles Chucky Jr., an older sister, Charlene, and a younger brother, Christopher. They all lived together in Sturbridge, Mass. His elementary school years were spent at Burgess Elementary in Sturbridge. Calvin and his family were active members in the Federated Church of Sturbridge. At around the age of 10, Calvin and his brother were playing around on their bicycles, squirting each other with squirt guns while riding very fast down a steep hill. Well, they crashed, and Calvin got the worst of the accident. He slid down the hill, scraping all the skin off his back and breaking his front teeth. This accident ended up taking him out of school for months. After Burgess, he began learning at Tantascwa Junior High School, where he enjoyed studying English under Miss Manning. While in junior high school, he attended many farm shows and once acquired grand champion for showing one of his father's prize pigs. After junior high school, he went to Tantascwa Regional High School. At the high school, he studied carpentry. He graduated in 1974. Out of high school, he worked at Brookfield Shoe, performing injection molding for shoes. He married his high school sweetheart and had his first son, also named Calvin. His first marriage did not last very long and ended in divorce. Once his divorce was finalized, Calvin joined the Army. Unfortunately, his Army career was cut short. During basic training, he slipped and fell off a tank and damaged his back. He underwent surgery and received an honorable discharge from the armed forces. Once back out in the mainstream, Calvin tried his hand at several different occupations. He worked moving furniture for Beauregard's Furniture. He worked installing swimming pools for Sturbridge Pool, but he got a severe sunburn and sun poisoning, so he left that job. He worked for the town of Sturbridge Highway Department. That job didn't last too long either. He was driving the dump truck and another worker was riding with him and kept pulling on the steering wheel. Calvin told the other worker to stop pulling on the wheel and that if he did it again, Calvin would not take the wheel and recover the truck. The worker did pull the wheel again, and Calvin, true to his word, did not take the wheel to recover, and the dump truck rolled over. That did not go well with the powers to be, and he was let go. He then went to work for a company that painted church steeples. While painting the highest steeple in Lee, Massachusetts, he was stung by bees and had an allergic reaction. That job was over. His next job consisted of working for a garbage company. However, he ended up beating up the next in charge at the dump and quit. Finally, Calvin found the job that he liked to do. That was auto mechanics. He loved working on cars and was very good at it. He worked for C.H. Knight's Chevrolet for a while and really enjoyed that job. However, when the owner told Calvin to go to his house and rake his leaves, it did not go over well, and Calvin ended up quitting. He then went to work for Village Mobile. During this time, Calvin was dating Kelly Carrington. He and Kelly dated for 3 years before marrying May 16, 1981. While working for Village Mobile one Sunday, Calvin, Kelly, and their friends decided they were bored, so they went roller skating. That was a big mistake. While Calvin was roller skating, some kids bumped him, and he fell. This was not a simple fall. No, Calvin fell and broke his ankle on both sides and tore all the ligaments in his leg. He had to have surgery and was in a cast for 11 months. When he was healed, he went to work for Spinney's Automotive. While working for Spinney's, Calvin and Kelly got married. Calvin took a leave of absence from work, and then he and Kelly loaded up her horse and Calvin's motorcycle and went to Cheyenne, Wyoming for a 3-month honeymoon to rodeo. When they returned from their honeymoon, Calvin went to work for Lundgren Honda. Calvin worked at the Honda dealership for a year and a half, and then one day he got laid off. Calvin was out looking for work, and he found a one-bay garage for rent. He also found a job with a great opportunity. He had a hard choice to make. go into business for himself, or take a great job running a service station for a really good pay. He came home and discussed with Kelly. Should he take the sure thing, or should he gamble and open up his own repair shop? They decided they would take the gamble and open their own shop. So, in October of 1982, Calvin's Auto Repair was started. Calvin's Auto Repair grew from that 1 bay to 3 bays to him purchasing his own building and then adding 24-hour towing. Calvin's Auto Repair was the first towing company in Sturbridge, Massachusetts to have a flatbed tow truck. At the end of work each day, Calvin and his workers would watch monster truck racing on TV. Calvin told Kelly that he wanted to do that. Kelly didn't pay much attention to this remark. Then one day, Calvin stated that they are going to deliver the monster truck he purchased on Saturday. Well, that one monster truck was not exactly what Calvin was looking for, and he soon purchased another one, and then another one. He raced in the Monster Wars series and came in 5th. He then built his own monster truck from scratch. He finished the monster truck build 1 week after his son, Kyle, was born. Kyle was born June 27, 1995, and Calvin took his new son and new monster truck to New York the very next week. Calvin built a motorsports company, Wildfire Motorsports, that at one time consisted of 16 monster trucks and a car-eating dragon robot named Tranzilla. Calvin traveled the worldwide with his family in monster trucks. Calvin, Kelly, and Kyle had traveled all over the United States and Canada. They've gone to Mexico, Aruba, and Australia. Calvin performed on TV and in the movie known as Rat Race. Calvin also did several TV shows on WWF Raw with Stone Cold Steve Austin and The Rock. From 1999 to 2003, Calvin and Wildfire Motorsports had the contract with WWF for all of the WWF monster trucks: Austin 316, The Rock, Undertaker, Kane, and the Brothers of Destruction. In 2003, Calvin decided that he wanted to try his hand at restaurant entrepreneurship and opened the Wildfire Cafe. Wildfire Cafe was a huge success, so much so that another cafe owner wanted to purchase it. He made an offer that Calvin could not refuse, and in 2004, Wildfire Cafe was sold, and Calvin, Kelly, Kyle, and Wildfire Motorsports moved to Boston, Georgia. They were welcomed to the Georgia community with open arms. Near the end of 2004, Calvin's licensing agreement with WWE had run out, and Calvin and Kelly began inventing new names for their monsters of destruction. Calvin began driving Terminator in the early 2005 and also added Full Throttle, Iron Horse, and Bulletproof, while keeping his original truck, Wildfire. In November of 2005, Calvin and Kelly opened Wildfire Automotive in their new hometown, where he planned to eventually kick back and retire from all of the traveling. Unfortunately, that is the one plan that Calvin was unable to see to completion. On the dark day of February 18, 2006, Calvin was at a monster truck show with his best friend, Robert French. The two were standing in the pit area in the middle of the track where the tough trucks were racing. Calvin asked Rob to go and get something from Calvin's trailer. Rob left. Then an out-of-control tough truck careened off of the track and it barreled straight toward Calvin. He never even saw it coming. A great man, best friend, loving husband, and wonderful father was lost to us that day. He will be missed, but never forgotten. Calvin's life is a living testament that if you believe in your wildest dreams, even the impossible can become a reality. And lastly, always remember to live by these words, for they are the true words of wisdom for a wonderful life. Live, laugh, and love.
From underneath the trees, we watch the sky, confusing stars, the satellites. I never dreamed that you'd be mine, but here we are, we're here tonight, singing, hey, man, I'm alive, singing, hey, man, I'm alive. If everyone came love.